we can talk about the transfer issues in December or January. Please
Yeah,
help me about that. Like you helped me about Son's contract last time.
yeah.
All right, and then yeah, you know there are many. I told you before there are many South Korean fans who believe you are a Chelsea fan. You are a Chelsea fan, but it's not true. I know it's
There are
not
many
true.
English fans who think I'm a Chelsea fan, and no, it's
Yeah,
not true.
yes, it's not true. And you are a Aston Villa fan. And how come? How come? How did you become Aston Villa fan?
It's just a simple story. You know, I'm from the Midlands originally, so
Yeah,
for South Korean fans who aren't too good on their English geography, Aston Villa are in the what's called the Midlands, in the middle of the country, near a city called Birmingham, and obviously near Hwang, the Wolverhampton Wanderers
yeah,
striker. So maybe they do know the Midlands very well at the moment.
yeah, yeah.
And I grew up in that area, and probably when I was 6 or 7 years old, my parents at the time liked football but didn't really follow a team themselves.
Mhm.
And like a lot of kids, about 6 or 7, I got very interested in it, and I wanted to go to. At the time, the Premier League was the first division; it wasn't the Premier League. But I wanted to go and see a match in the top division. And the only Midlands team at the time in the top division were Aston Villa. You know,
Yeah,
Wolves weren't, Leicester weren't, West Bromwich Albion weren't, Birmingham City haven't been for a long time. So they took me to go and see Aston Villa, and I just got hooked straight away, and they got hooked
mm,
straight away as well. My parents both got hooked on it. And I think we went to maybe a few games at the end of one season. And do you know what? Villa got relegated that season
yeah.
and went down, but we still got a season ticket for the next season. And for about at least, oh God, for at least 12 years, I had a season ticket at Villa. And then because of
Mm.
studying and work, I moved away and couldn't have a season ticket anymore. But I still go when I can. I'm going next weekend as a fan for the Brighton game, which will be Steven Gerrard's first game in charge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just simple story.
I mean, you just said the name which I will mention now, and then who ever thought that Steven Gerrard will become the manager of Aston Villa? How I mean, as an Aston Villa fan, what's your reaction to that story?
Look, I'm excited by it. You know, I didn't want Dean Smith to go.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dean Smith. I thought Dean Smith was doing a good job. He's been through difficult times recently, but I believed he would turn it round.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Dean Smith has gone, and obviously Dean Smith has already got another job now at Norwich, but now that
Yeah.
Dean Smith has gone and I can't do anything about that,
Mm-hmm.
looking forward, I think realistically, Gerrard was probably one of the best candidates for the job. I didn't really think Villa could go out and get sort of a proven top class manager because, you know, let's face it, we're a bottom of the half Premier League club at the moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will become better than that, but at the moment that's what we are. So I think Gerrard's an exciting appointment. I think he's an exciting appointment because of his name, and also an exciting appointment because he's a young manager who so far in his career has done very well.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm excited by it. I'll go there on Saturday, very excited to see what it looks like, even though it's going to obviously take some time for us to see what Gerrard actually does at Villa.
All right. And that based on your observation about, you're a fan of Aston Villa, and also you you know very well about Steven Gerrard and what he did at Rangers. Do you think they will be good together?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a good fit because I think that Gerrard. Look, I know what I do know about Gerrard. I cover England a lot I
Yeah.
still cover England. I'm not in San Marino for this trip, but I've been covering this England get together. I went to the game on Friday night. I've covered England now for oof, probably 15 years.
Mhm.
And Gerrard was still playing for England when I covered them. So I used to do a lot of Gerrard interviews
Mm.
on England duty. And he is such a determined character. And he knows he's coming to Villa with, he needs it to work, you know, for his career. He's just come away from a club where he's won a title. He's been the dominant club, the dominant coach. He's taken a gamble on Villa and Villa have taken a gamble on him.
Mm.
And they both desperately, desperately need it to work. Otherwise,
Mm.
Gerrard will go back to sort of stage one in his coaching career rather than going upwards. And Villa will be in a mess if it doesn't work. So I think the fact they both need it to work so much and will both be so determined, I think gives it a good chance of working. I think Villa needed, if they were going to sack someone as popular as Dean Smith, I think they needed someone who could lift the place. And I think Gerrard will lift the place because of his name, and players will be excited to work with him. He brings in a good coaching team. I think maybe that was one of Dean Smith's problems, that he didn't have a settled coaching team. You know, the coaching team of Dean Smith left in the summer. I'm not sure how good the new coaching team were, but Gerrard has a very settled coaching team who are apparently very good. I think that will be good. So I think it can be successful, albeit what is success for Aston Villa? I would argue at the moment success for Aston Villa is just finishing in the top half of the Premier League.
Yep.
We haven't finished in the top half of the Premier League for probably 10 years or something. So success for Villa is at a lower level than other people. But if he could get us back into the top half of the Premier League, and you know, if he could one day win a trophy, again, we've been even longer than Tottenham without a trophy. If he could somehow win us a trophy, he would go down in history as a Villa manager.
All right. And lastly, for today, I mean, it was interesting that you mentioned Hwang at Wolves, and Wolves is also in the Midlands. They have a derby, right? Aston Villa and
well, yeah, I mean, it's it's for people in the Midlands, it's not a big derby. It's not like a Tottenham and an Arsenal or a West Ham and a Tottenham. That's Villa Birmingham or Villa West Brom.
Yeah,
it is a bit of a derby, but not like not a big rivalry.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I mean, as Hwang is doing well at Wolves, and then do you believe,
really well.
Do you believe, is there, as a fan, is there any South Korean player you want to see at Aston Villa in the next transfer market or something?
I'd like to see Son at Aston Villa, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Hwang's an interesting one, because you look at Hwang, and I'll be honest, I didn't know an awful lot about him before he came over. But now when you watch him play and you read about him, and obviously he went to Leipzig, I think he had an injury last season or didn't play an awful lot last season. But you look at him and you think, why aren't other clubs looking at this guy? He looks perfect for the Premier League. You know, his style is very good for the Premier League. His record before his injury was very good. Coming from the Bundesliga can be difficult, but I think the styles aren't that different in terms of the style of football. So I look at that and I think, why haven't other Premier League clubs looked at him? They look like they've got a bargain. You know, I think he's on loan, isn't he, with an option to buy him for quite a cheap price. Yeah. And it looks like, I would be amazed if they didn't buy him, and it looks like they will end up having a bargain. But I would imagine what tends to happen in England is when a player from a country does well, the clubs start looking at that country thinking, wow, we've got to look at these guys now. I mean, it happened with Belgium all those years ago. And it's happened with other countries. Look, I'm not going to lie. My knowledge of South Korean footballers, past the famous ones, is not great. So I couldn't tell you that the South Korean. You tell me, who should we be looking at? You tell me.
Kim, how about Kim? Kim Min-jae. Yeah. Kim. You don't need a defender.
Villa probably do need a defender in time, but also lots of clubs need a defender. Tottenham need a defender still. So
yes. Yeah, maybe.
You never know. But it will. I think at some stage it will open the door more. I really do.
You only had that only Son and Hwang you had Ji-sung Park, right?
Well, of course, yeah. In the past, and we had the guy at Reading. Who was the guy at Reading?
Seo Gi-hyun. He also played for Wolves.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I interviewed him once. He was a really nice guy, and he was a good player.
You know, there is one common thing from all four players. They are all wingers. You know.
Yeah.
Then maybe perhaps you need to think about South Korean
other positions,
right? Yeah.
But my colleague John Percy did an interview with him for the Telegraph.
Yeah.
And he said that he was a lovely guy. He said he was a really, really nice guy. And the character is a big thing as well, because the character of the South Korean guys is so good. You know, work so hard, so humble, so friendly. I don't ever read about any silly stuff off the pitch with these guys. You know, if you're a club, you'd be thinking these guys are perfect for us.
Yeah, right. So okay, next time you hear anything about South Korean player and Aston Villa, then you know where to.
I message you straight away.